Welcome guys, this is Paul Mills, also known as Binary, here for another RTM update stream and a Cryptosmith stream. Let's get started. Stream today is titled Scaled. Apparently it means 2 or 3 different things which are relatable to tonight's stream. So we'll just have to see what happens. Don't forget guys to like and subscribe to our official Raptoreum YouTube channel. Really helps with the stats, and also it means you won't miss absolutely anything that we put out. We do this every single week, guys. Raptoreum never sleeps. So in roughly about 13 minutes, we're going to get started with the Raptoreum update stream. We're going to be running that for maybe half an hour. Hopefully we can fit some questions into that as well. Then we'll head out over to Jesse Lambert, also known as Cryptosmith, right on the hour. Don't forget to join our Discord, guys. A link is at the top middle of the stream. It was on the top right, but I've had to move it. Yeah, join that Discord, head over to Stream Party Chat, and we might be doing a little bit of rain in there tonight. That is the hashtag Stream Party Chat. Check it out. Oh, that reminds me, I just want to say a big thanks to White Bat Audio. Thank you once again for letting us use these amazing tunes. Really kicks the night off. Let's go, guys. you doing, Matias? Nice to see you in the chat. Whimsical Little Potato is saying show feet core team. Honestly, bro, you don't want to see my feet. Welcome, Roy Era. Welcome, Todd. And Ricky. Oh, nice bit of bass on that. Hey Ricky, Sully is more than welcome to come on. More than welcome. We're almost there now, guys. Just another minute. Right, I think we're there now, guys, so I'm going to get rid of the music. Thanks, Whitebat Audio, for that. And we're going to head over to Charlie and Scherm, hopefully, if they're on. Let's have a look. Charlie and Scherm, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Scherm. Are you there, Charlie?
I am too. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly fine, but I cannot see you.
Yeah, I'm hiding a little bit.
Oh, are you hiding? Well, it was so good. I did like your background there. You had it on very matrixy and whatever. It looked really good. Okay, guys. Welcome. Thanks for waiting. This is the Raptoreum update stream on the 11th of February. And so let's just get started. I've got Sherm on here right now because I didn't think I was going to get Charlie or Piggy on. Piggy's currently, well, he's supposed to be sleeping, as he's been doing various interviews. He hasn't had no sleep for a couple of days, so he's had to go and get some sleep. And then Charlie said, well, he'll come on the stream, so here he is. So it's nice to have you with us, Charlie.
Thanks, man. Nice to be here.
Okay, so we'll get started. So we listened, as you know, and we totally remade the com site, ready for talks with key industry players and, you know, the general public and things like that. All rolls into one, doesn't it? And it's also matching our professional deck that we've been working on for some time now, which is going out to important people who need to know about us. So when they click through to our site, you know, it all matches up and it all looks super sharp and good. Thank you all for your suggestions and for nudging me into doing that. I think it's going to be really beneficial to us all in the long run, especially when things turn around market-wise. Do your own research, not financial advice. You will also find a new downloads page, making downloads more visually easier to navigate. And also we've got a team page now, so you can flick through the team members, see what they do. There's like 3 levels. If you scroll down on mobile, the 3 levels will show up. On desktop, you'll have to scroll down. You can either swipe, or you can tap the arrows on the side to swipe between team members. We worked quite hard on mission statements because people were asking, well, what do you actually do as a project, you know? Well, we know what we do, but it's about putting it in the right way to the community so everyone is clear on what we're doing. So you will see some of those on the main page, and also some of those are in our professional deck as well. And it's much clearer now, showing the problems that we're trying to solve and how we're going to solve those problems. And then while we were at it, we decided to unify up the blog site as well. So now the blog site is fully branded in with the new com site. The header and everything's exactly the same. The navigation's exactly the same, ties all into the main com site, so it's as if you're navigating on one. For some users, we are still having a bit of a cache issue with the mobile. I don't know where we are with that, Charlie, but I checked earlier and it was still not opening in the same window. It was opening to an external site when we were accessing the blog.
All right. Yeah, I'll have a look after our stream here and see what's going on with that. Probably just, again, the cache needs to be cleared out again.
Yeah. All right, Neo. We've got a new doc site soon to be live as well. After this, after tonight's stream, I'm going to be working on that as well. Piggy's going to be chipping in as well, and it's looking pretty nice as well. So that'd be cool to get out. I'm kind of on a roll. I want to get everything done. We've been building out the W3ST booth, which is the digital summit happening between the 1st and the 4th of March. And yep, that's all branded in with the site and the decks and the blog site and, you know, everything else that we've been working on. And so we I'm not sure whether that's a public thing to view at the moment. I'm probably not. I'll tell you what I can do. I did a recording of it earlier. So
you're showing that video?
Yeah. So I'll show them that video. Just give me a sec. Let me just paste it over to the OBS. Right, there we go. Let's see if this works. There we go. It's working. You guys can't see that on Discord.
It's all right. I've seen it.
Yeah. So this is our virtual booth at the Eveland W3ST Summit. We are, you know, one of the only few that have really put an effort in at the moment, and it's pretty striking, especially when you can click through as well, and, you know, go to the site through the different things on the front of there. I'm thinking of changing that to contact us as well, especially by the desk, and we're going to have a rolling video behind. I might host that on YouTube just so it's a bit more smoother. I've noticed some of the GIFs that are uploaded on there tend to be a bit glitchy sometimes, but I think that's just you know, depending on the device that you're using. You can travel around the conference and you know, have a look at other stands and contact other people and things like that. There's various pavilions that you can attend as well, and yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty cool. As you can see, our stand at the moment is
the best one out there.
The best one out there, yeah. So yeah, that's it. And we've got the partners on the right. There you go. Look, some of our mission statements, our solutions that we're working on. We're going to have various people manning the booth, so we're going to have various languages on there as well. So, you know, this is just one small piece of the pie that we're currently working on to get things done. And like, there's a contact us click on the left as well, where you can find out about us, contact us, and other things like that as well. And we're going to add some extra tabs on the side for like the merch store and some other things as well, like Raptor Wings will be out by then, so we'll probably do a feature on that as well. But yeah, that's the gist of that. Yeah, hope you all like that, guys.
I like it.
Okay, we have been in close contact with several industry partners, looking on how we potentially launch the new Node DeFi contracts. So we are currently working on route to market with that, to try and make sure we have maximum effort. And it's also about timing as well, you know. Piggy has given a couple of interviews. He's been doing them today. I think he did one yesterday as well, which is why he's currently not on this stream. He's really tired, as it was out of his normal domestic hours. So he's been doing that. We have just commenced the initial stages of potentially becoming an official NFT platform for a Southeast Asian sports league. This is in the works now. The cogs are turning, and obviously this is also post assets. So, you know, it's nice to start planting these seeds now and getting things growing for some big things down the line. Social Ruins has been working on something super cool, which includes a brand new tracking experience for your wallets, a little bit like Raptoreum back in the day. But from what I've seen of this software, I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to say this. Can I say this, Charlie?
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Well, it's got a third-party Explorer in there currently at the moment, which looks pretty nice. It's really nice, amazing. I'm trying to nudge Charlie into using that for our main one, but I'm not sure whether he's absorbed that yet. But the main thing that I was pretty impressed about is the fact that it looks like he's building a web wallet. And
yeah, you really shouldn't have said that.
oh,
No, I'm messing with you.
And whether you guys know what that means or not, I mean, that is very special. Once someone builds a web wallet, the things that can happen around that are, it's infinite. There's lots of things that can happen around a web wallet, including, marketplaces, e-commerce, direct e-commerce to the wallet. I mean, currently cryptocurrency checkout is a triple jump just to pay for in RTM. So that's another thing. Just imagine the possibilities with a web wallet. And then when tokens, assets come out, and then with a web wallet with assets on there as well,
Rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. Exactly, Shane. Charlie, you've been working on that DeFi project, helping them get off the ground. How's that going?
That's going very well. We had some testing on it today, a good round of testing, and man, everything's looking really good. Things are working how we want it to work. It's going pretty smooth. It's impressive. It's going to be something when it's ready to roll out. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah. So that's going to give futures more of a use on the network, isn't it?
Yes, it will. You bet.
And that also means that node hodlers holders are going to be receiving rewards. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you bet.
Transaction fees.
There we go. Okay. But also in June, July time, we are having a block reduction on the emission. It's
Our first block reduction, yeah.
And that reduces by 10, doesn't it, Charlie?
I believe so, yep.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
10 every full moon.
Every full moon or something like that, yeah. So, you're going to lose 10 on your emissions, but you're probably going to be in a better position on the future side of things. So depending on how you are using the network, depends on how you're going to be
rewarded.
Yeah.
Potentially rewarded.
Exactly. The team has started negotiations for exclusive high quality hentai to be published by the upcoming vendor platform and NFT marketplace. That's something Piggy wanted to tell us. What else have you been working on, Charlie?
The Ghost Press, which is the WordPress hosting, which you can pay with Raptoreum.
Yep.
At first, I was going to go with kind of like known systems, known payment gateway, but everything's the existing stuff that's out there doesn't really make use of Raptoreum's features. Like, I don't see why we need to wait for 8 confirmations to order something.
Yeah.
And the existing solutions were kind of like too many steps, kind of too slow. So I wanted to make it really run on RTM and take advantage of what RTM can offer. So we built a back end for it and a front end for it. It's getting close to be ready for testing, and when it's ready, you'll be able to order anonymous WordPress hosting. Just pay with Raptoreum. RTM is the only thing I plan on accepting for it. It's not all automatic yet. You'll pay, and I'll see your order. I'll manually provision your WordPress site. It's pretty cool system. So every order that like every site that you order for the hosting, it's its own VPS. So I mean, you're not limited to just one site. You can put as many as you want on there, as long as you have enough resources.
Yeah.
You don't need anything. All you need is Raptoreum and a valid email address, and the system accepts that. Unlike other hosting companies, we don't ask for paperwork or a bunch of private information or store your credit card or anything like that. We just a valid email address and your Raptoreum payment, and that's about it. It's a pretty cool system.
Awesome.
It's I come from the hosting industry, right? I spent 10, 12, 13 years in hosting, and more specifically, a lot of that was kind of in WordPress. So I put together a pretty good stack. When you order VPS, the system automatically installs Nginx only stack on it. Everything was optimized and hardened specifically for WordPress. So the database, there's 2 layers of caching, page catch, and then object catch through Redis. Overall, it's a really lean, mean system. And what you will find out there for other companies that are kind of offering the same thing, which is like a semi-managed custom stack / VPS for WordPress. With GhostPress, we're offering that at fraction of the cost. Like, let's say you go to somewhere like Kinsta or WP Engine, you're paying big dollars. You don't have the flexibility or the really the stack that we're going to have with GhostPress. So it's pretty exciting. I hope people like it. Should be good.
Excellent, exciting stuff. I'm sure that'll get used a fair bit. There's a lot of WordPress users. You're already hosting for somebody, aren't you, Charlie? Is someone using it already?
Not through the platform, no.
Right. Okay.
But I have some other ideas for it as we go forward too. Like right now, it's pretty basic. It's using RTM as the payment for it.
Yeah.
But I have some ideas once assets come out, and especially when smart contracts come out, is some of the biggest issues that WordPress hosting has is one is fraud. It adds a ton of man hours and cost into a hosting provider's bottom line there.
Okay.
So we kind of eliminate that as far as the payment system goes. We don't need to have a bunch of additional checks and manual checks and this and that. And the next one would be there's 43% of websites and online stores right now on all of the internet run on WordPress. So obviously it's a pretty big juicy target for hackers, and there's thousands of websites hacked every day. And I have some ideas utilizing RTM and the blockchain and consensus and tying that into the hosting, where it's possible that maybe we can make a big dent in that hacking issue, which is something people have been trying to do for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think if we can tie the hosting in with the blockchain and require consensus on changes or show ownership of a certain token or NFT before changes are allowed on the server, we can eliminate sites and stuff getting hacked, which would be a pretty massive thing.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, Sherm.
So,
I always come to you when I've, when I just start my work here. I always come to you and I ask you, what's going on? What is going on with the community?
what's been going on?
What's been going on? So what has been going on, Sherm? Is there anything we need to know about it?
I mean, I think everybody's just hanging tough. Through this bull market, watching the swings, watching the news. Obviously, people saw the news with the SEC and were concerned about staking with RTM. With nodes, even though what we do is not actually staking, so we're not affected by those types of things like Ethereum and all that. Basically, coming from the block reward proof of work. So all the validating is done by the miners, on your CPU. So that was one of the big worries for a lot of people this week.
Yeah. So there's no worry at all.
No worry at all.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say to everybody? Is there anything going on with the bots or?
Well, RCC had a double instances running, so it was actually running double for a brief moment. So it went down for a little bit while Goalie fixed that. Which I noticed, but other than that, the bots are running good.
Okay. We're gonna take questions from the community for the next. We'll do it for 7 minutes, so we've got a couple of minutes before Cryptosmith starts. So first, I'll take some questions from the YouTube channel. That is the YouTube channel comment section. If there's anything you want to ask us, ask it now and ask it quickly. We are here and we'll answer absolutely anything. Yeah, Ricky Sully got a webcam this week. It's definitely broken. I did think he was going to come on this stream, but he did tell me to remind him. I think.
We forgot to remind him. I was supposed to do that too.
Yeah.
Next week.
Do Matthias really neat so far? Cheers, bro. Hey, Polska saying moon. Well, I mean,
which one?
Which one exactly? Very interesting project, Charlie from Pepe. I think that's on about Ghost Press. Hello, Spanish community. Okay, the service will be just for hosting, or maybe you can contract the web domain. Charlie.
Yeah, sorry. Right at the beginning, I'm not going to get into registering domains for RTM. It's kind of a tricky thing to do it with crypto. It's got to be done just right. For now, if people want to buy a domain for crypto or like anonymously, there's a couple other places that you can grab your domain. To be honest, it's kind of a good thing to separate services. You have hosting on one place, you should have your domain somewhere else. It's a good thing to split them up. Not everybody wants to do that. I know that. So at some point in the future, I will take on domains, but it won't happen at the start.
Okay. How you doing, Tebow? Okay, any more questions, guys? Well, we've just got time for maybe another 2 questions. So, is possible to contract the hosting? Great, that's what Pepe says. Okay. All right,
you bet.
guys.
Hosting's not a problem.
Now we're going to head over to the stream party chat. If anyone's got any questions for us at our official Discord, then head over to stream party chat and ask the question right now. We'll give it a couple of minutes there. Doesn't look like there's any questions.
No questions.
Did we just literally drown people with information already?
They're digesting.
Yes, we answered everything.
I think we've done it. Oh, we got Tebow typing.
Tebow got a question. Whimsical little potatoes typing. Let's see.
That was in fact very informative. Cheers, bro. I mean, we're getting better every time we do these streams. We're getting a little bit better every time, and you know, I think this one went a bit more swimmingly. Tebow's typing though. I'm curious to see what he's going to say.
Yeah, it might be the final one. Oh, we've got Half Devil too. Half Devil was late.
What is the Ghost Press service? Oh my goodness me, Tebow.
Tebow,
Right.
you just got to rewind the stream a little
You got to rewind. You got to rewind. All right. Well, cheers, guys. Thank you very much for watching the RTM stream. It has been a complete pleasure. I will now go back to the interlude where we'll get to Cryptosmith on the hour. Are you joining us for that, Charlie?
Yeah, you bet. I wouldn't miss it, man.
Have you got any idea what he's making today?
I have no clue.
Are you on for that show?
Of course.
All right,
I'll be there.
All right. Thanks a lot,
See you guys in a bit.
See you later. Okay, guys, we're almost there. We're heading over to Cryptosmith imminently. Okay, let's go, guys. Hey, Smith, are you there, bro? We can't hear you if you're talking. You're muted currently. There we go.
There he is.
There he is. How you doing, Smith?
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. It's a great time to tell you about the euthanization of rabbits. I don't know if you know this, but because of rabbits, our lettuce and avocado crops are down this year.
Okay.
And with that happening, I have no idea what the vegetarians and the vegans are going to eat. So we should probably kill all of them.
Very nice.
We should kill the rabbits, right?
Kill the rabbits so there's more for Beinrei.
Kill the wabbits. Kill the wabbits.
Get those veggie burgers.
All the non-boomers won't get that song. I seen a thing on Facebook short videos or whatever of two Gen X's or Gen Y's or Gen Z's or whatever they are, millennials, I don't know, breaking up, and they were using all the terminology that the young people use today, like that sus and stuff like that. It was hilarious, but it got me thinking real nostalgic wise, and now I'm just living within the fact that I'm just an old guy, you know. I'm not, but
Okay, so why are
Go
we?
back.
Where did we come up with the name Scaled? Where?
so you see what's happening to the steel right now, yeah?
Yeah.
All this
Okay.
nonsense coming off.
Oh yeah.
So that's scale.
That's scale, right?
And it's our enemy to a degree. Sometimes we use it to our advantage and stuff like brute to forge finish, where the scale, it's cold and iron oxide is actually really strong, but it's brittle. So if I hit cold scale into it, it'll drive itself into the hot steel, and then as it scales off, it leaves that impression in it. So if you want a clean forging, you want to get rid of it. But in brute to forge, we use it to our advantage. But that's the only time. So we're trying to get rid of it, especially for what we're doing. So I want to use it in three ways. One, I want to put y'all in the hot seat about scaling project-wise. Two, I want to, so just to bring everybody up to speed, we're going to build this RTM logo at this size, and then when we forge it down, we're actually going to forge it down to a block about that big.
And we're gonna smush it down.
Smush it. Yeah, we're going to smush it down. Yeah, so we're going to take something that and we're going to scale it down to that. And third reason is because iron scale is in our way. So it was just kind of a fun, that's the bonus one.
Multiple
So
definitions.
Yep. Yeah. So I know we talked about trampoline springs beforehand, and I don't want to shift, but I think I'm going to, because I've switched over to cable. One, because of the steel composition, and it's a little easier, but mainly because the wires are a little smaller and it's easier to get detail. And because I have a crap ton of cable that I'm trying to get rid of. Charlie knows all about it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about taking some of that cable off your hands.
Yeah, so you can see the size of the individual wires in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and I even want to take advantage of the star pattern of this center rope
Yeah.
and put that into the eye.
As I said, the eye.
Yeah. So that would be cool. But so essentially I'm gonna pull all these down to what look like about a 30-second. I think that's about a mil or 3/4 of a mil of these individual wires so that I could really get tight into these corners.
Okay.
I was flattening out the big 1/8 trampoline spring, and it wasn't jiving, wasn't going. So doing some
Switch it up.
cleaning and had to get rid of. I have 2 shelf fulls of cable. Once upon a time, I thought I was just gonna go make a whole bunch of cable Damascus. So I guess the time has come. Got to get rid of it now. So using this for this, I think it's just good all around. So what I've done so far is I've heated them up, and these come off when they come off this twisted wire here. They come off in with some of the helix remnant memory. So they come off as a helix.
Yeah.
So I've just taken that, straightened it, and then I've got some annealing in the vermiculite right now, so that I can further break them down and just kind of go to the next layer of detail, the next fractal, if you will, and take these individual wires and get rid of the helix that they have. And you can see how big now. Now we can really get into the
Pretty
detail of
small.
everything.
Yeah.
So I think it'll look neat, especially because these, a lot of the companies that make this wire rope, they're kind of proprietary about what their steel composition is. All we know is it has the properties that are good for wire rope, such as
Like strength, tensile strength.
yeah, tensile strength. Thank you, and the ability to bend, which actually just comes in the form of its filament size, if you will, as well. But anyways, one thing that I found out is that they weld like really easily to one another without building up too much scale that is stubborn. So a lot of alloy steels I've been finding have stubborn scale. And these are, I would say, a very simple alloy because the scale, it just cries to be flaked off. But because of that, the borax, the genuine RTM salt, TM, does a good job of cleaning them up and makes them weld pretty relatively easy. So because of that, I think it's kind of a win-win. But my first job is to come in here and straighten all of these out. And that's a bit of a job. But I think we can get away. With just putting a good stretch on them. Because these aren't proper annealed. But I let them cool in the vermiculite, so I should be able, with a little bit of muscle.
That's straight out pretty good.
Yeah, so these ones, yeah. So the other option is for me to heat them up and stretch them. And my son is on the ball today.
Would it also work if you were to put them into a roller where it rolled them straight?
The only way to really do that for lines is by putting them into like a 6-roller straightener where it bends it in both axes
Yeah, I get you.
in opposite directions.
Yep, okay.
So this is terribly inefficient already. So we're not going to do it like this. We'll figure it out. You guys come along on the journey and we'll kind of figure it out together.
Experiment.
Now, have we decided how we're going to do the RTM billet?
Oh,
Has
the
that been
style.
cemented? Are we going to clean up the faces and be meticulous and precision based, and
It's got to be.
or are we?
This is the Raptoreum billet, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
got
what
to
we-
be perfect. It's got to be beautiful precision.
Okay, so there's our wrought iron. This is signatory of the or symbolic rather, sorry, of the old school, the old way of doing things, because wrought iron is very much wrought iron doesn't exist anymore. So wrought iron was made by a process called puddling, and what they would do is they would take raw iron or cast iron, and then they would create a puddle of this essentially with something underneath it. Now I'm fuzzy on it. But essentially what they would do is they'd have somebody blowing air into it and mixing it. And that was the job of the puddler, was to mix it, while essentially what they were doing was driving off as much oxygen and carbon out of the iron puddle as they could. And this was the steel back in the day. This is where they made iron tires from, was the most significant thing, as well as chains, because it had really good stretch to it, as well as it reacted well to heat. And it was super stable. So this was the steel back in the day. Like I think the Eiffel Tower was like one of the first marvels, because it's one of the big things where they majorly switched from wrought iron to steel. But I think even a lot of components of the Eiffel Tower are made from wrought iron.
Well, the Eiffel Tower actually expands by 30 centimeters in the summer months. In height, it goes higher and wider.
Yeah, and that's due to steel. Like steel has an expansion rate much higher than wrought iron, and but wrought iron itself will expand.
Yeah.
So this is very similar to when they fit bearings. They'll heat the bearing and shrink the shaft with liquid nitrogen. So yeah, but I think with wrought iron, it would actually be much more stable than steel is. Steel has a higher expansion rate. It's one of the reasons that to this day, cast iron is used in machining.
I mean, wrought iron is in high demand. It's something that's not made anymore. Like bladesmiths, especially. I mean, wrought iron's a hot item, right? So, is it because of its properties, or because it's so rare, or because of both? Why doesn't somebody start making it again?
Because of its grain structure, it's popular, because it has I don't want to say dendrites, because it's not dendrites, but it's close to that. So it has grain boundaries that have high contrast one to another, because it just because of the impure sense of it, and because puddling is so, like Japanese blacksmithing, they fold and they fold and they fold, not because the primary purpose isn't because of the strength that each fold adds, but that definitely is like a bonus. The primary purpose of folding was to work out all the impurities. So that is just to say that any early iron smelting or steel smelting back in the day was always subject to the ore that you were using, and because of it, always came with a lot of impurities. So wrought iron fell out of favor because of the massive amount of impurities, and ironically fell back into favor with blacksmiths in particular because of the grain structure of it. So essentially, it's an aesthetic appeal. And there's a lot more to it than that. I think the driver, and now I'm heading into the speculation, but the driver really is the aesthetic appeal. But there are definitely added bonuses such as its ductility. I want to say ductibility, ductility, and its toughness. It has great shock absorption, as well as its thermal expansion stability. So there are a lot of plus sides for it, but it fell out of favor in the use of steel and everyday stuff. One is because of the impurities. Maybe I should reorder that. Two, maybe the impurities. One is the high death rate of the puddlers. It was very expensive to make, and it was very personnel expensive as well. Puddlers, they did not live long. So expensive to make. That's probably number one driver. We know money rules the world, right? Number one driver was expensive to make. Number two was people died from it. And number three is the impurities that came along with it. Steel is a much cleaner alloy. So, whereas wrought iron is just iron. And it was subject to tearing, but much like wood grain would tear from a split rather than, but it would bend and be very strong in the middle. That's why they don't make it again.
Gotcha.
This wheel has so much mass that it acts like a flywheel. I don't know if you just saw that belt get spin off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it acts like a flywheel, and so if this turns on and the motor is spinning faster than this will allow it to, it'll just, I actually have to, I forget, but with the big wheel, I have to get it going first.
Isorian is asking, since we have Cryptosmith again, let me ask him, does the workshop belong to him, and how long did it take him to fill the place up with all the machines?
So I rent the shop space. I'm in a commercial building in essentially the older part of the town that I live in, so that the major industrial complex is much like other cities have been done. They build along the highway, and then the industrial complex kind of forks off of what they've essentially spotted along the highway.
Yeah.
So the main industrial is over there, but that's only been developed really in probably in the last 50 years. Whereas back in the day, where I am now, 50, 60 years ago, was kind of the industrial hub. But it's turned into not the industrial hub.
Like a light industrial, light commercial.
Yeah, so it's still zoned commercial because 60 years ago. But it's, hang on, sorry.
Looks like we lost the Smith.
Lost him for a minute. Oh, there we go. He's back.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
I had some text messages coming in, and I might have to leave. But anyways, I'm in a commercial shop that's basically in the middle of town. That's still kind of grandfathered into the commercial zoning.
Yeah.
And it's probably taken me, I mean, when I moved into this shop, so I had back in 2009, somebody came to me and said, "Hey, I heard that such and such is selling some tools." And so I went over there and I asked her how much she wanted for a bandsaw, a sander, um, can you hear me all right? Is
Yeah.
Discord
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a good job of
Yeah, we can still hear you. It's blocking out the machine fine.
So I had I got from her a little bandsaw and a sander and a couple other things, a couple other power tools. Oh, Dremel. And she asked for $100 for everything, and I said, "Oh, okay, are you sure? It's a great deal. Like I know the bandsaw was brand new and it was worth maybe 300 on its own." Anyways, I come to find out she was selling it on her ex because so she was spiteful. She was
She
spiteful.
didn't care what
fella.
she got for it. Just wanted it gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. She probably sold it for cheap to hurt him a little bit too, right?
Yeah. Like, you only got that for it?
Yeah. Funny too. I think they got back together.
Oh, did they?
I kind of avoided him.
Well, yeah, it's probably best.
Yeah. Probably
Well,
still salty.
I wonder if he's bought another bandsaw.
Yeah. So that was back in 2008, and I've just kind of been accruing tools ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we're just cleaning up the face, and thanks to all the work we did to make a nice piece of clean steel, we don't have a lot of scale to work with. There's one stubborn piece right here.
Okay.
There's one stubborn piece right here, but other than that, that's super easy to clean up. So that's what we want. Oh, I don't know who had mentioned about the closeness, how close I get to this grinder, but it must have got to my head because I got a little coffee.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And that's what happens when you run your finger into an
grinder.
80 grit belt.
Yeah.
Skin's gone.
And then same day or next day, I dropped a 13-pound hammer on my hand.
Ouch.
That one felt good.
Yeah, it looks like it felt good.
We can say that you're precise.
Yeah. Doing a slack of welding here. Still got a bunch of spatter all over the place. So what I'm going to do, cut this up. And I think I'll use the piece of copper I have as an indicator of length. We want to get rid of the end of our billet. It has some tack welds in there as well, so we got to get rid of those. And then we got to be able to, so we only need a single piece of the Damascus. But we need two pieces of the wrought iron. So the wrought iron will have to split without bringing in any cold shuts. So we'll determine our limits by any any bad stuff we have.
Okay.
So once my son gets back with my apron, I'll have a pen to work with. And then got enough of this. We won't use that as our reference. We'll use our wrought iron. Can you hear my daughter barking at my son?
No.
Does that come?
No, it's not coming through.
She's we used to call her Mother Sadie. You're gonna say something, Charlie?
We've kind of decided to go the epic route with this.
I think so. I don't know because somebody did say precision. RTM is precise and precision would entail a little bit more than.
So yeah, we have that route or we have the epic route. RTM's pretty epic too. So Minor, do you remember the last spring where we were talking about the two different styles that he could go with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's been decided for us. We're gonna go the epic route simply because that was the impression that I was under, and I took it to the point where
So
is
epic not precise?
well, it is. In
Well,
fact,
we're all right then, aren't we? There's no issue.
I would say it's even more so, but under definition, when I said precise, it was to the degree of hedging all our bets.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
happens if it goes wrong?
We cry.
We all cry.
That's
We
true. I
cry.
said I
Swim
would
in the
cry on
salt.
stream, right?
Yeah.
I will.
So you'll see here, I'll show you. The
Guards are recommended, guys. Don't try that at home.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree with that, but I'll keep my mouth shut.
You can see the previous stream for the debate.
yeah. Yeah. This stupid thing. The by the time you get good enough, you won't need advice. You taking advice from me. Okay. One thing I definitely hate about this is it is a pain in the neck to put on and off. Oh man. Real life. You're watching real life right now, folks. You're about to watch me smash this grinder in real life. Okay, so watch the sparks. These sparks are typically orange-white, more orange, and very little sparkly.
So it would less bloom means less carbon, no?
What, sorry?
It said less bloom, less spark means lower carbon. Do I have that right?
Yes. But no, we've actually gone to the other side.
Okay.
Oh man. Binary, can you look up how much carbon content of wrought iron? Because I know cast iron, you get into cast iron and you're going like 4%, 5%.
I know one of the things you check for
0.1%.
What's that?
0.1% carbon in wrought iron.
In wrought iron, okay, yeah, so 0 carbon. Whereas cast iron is I get those two confused, but I know cast iron actually doesn't do like a lot of fireworks because all the carbon is so much into solution, you don't get carbide. So I get the two mixed up. All right, that's one. The wrought iron. So my wife is stranded. I just got to check in with her, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah,
No
carry
worries.
on. If you've got to go, you got to go. Also, don't worry about it.
Can you still hear me?
Oh, we
Yep,
hear you.
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
So I'm just gonna wait for her text. Oh, oh, we're good. Not her first rodeo.
There we go. Oh, very good. Good.
Okay, I'm going to check the chats. Might throw another little rain in there.
Yeah, that's a grinding wheel. You don't prefer a zip disc for cutting, or? I don't think he heard me.
What was that?
I was asking, it looks like you're cutting with a grinding disc, but I was asking about if you use a zip disc for cutting.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I've gone through probably every zip disc and company thereof known to man, looking for the right one. And I've landed on this brand, and it does not serve me wrong. It lasts forever. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's a zip disc that you're using now? I couldn't see it. I thought you were just straight up grinding it off. Okay.
So this is 0.045. Did I say that right, Binary?
0.045. I don't say naught, but I do have a joke.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no.
Well,
Okay.
what do you get
There you go.
what do you get if you throw a 0 into space? An astronaut.
Oh no.
You got to say that again. It sounded like it was a joke.
Yeah, it was.
Barely.
I don't think I want to say it again. It was so bad.
I'll spare you then.
But it is an original joke.
It is an original joke.
You won't find that one on the internet anywhere.
No, that is an original joke from Bitknives. You won't find it on Google. And if you do find it on Google, that's because someone put it there and copied it from me.
So, essentially it's going to go like this. Come there. Scissors, please. Oh, yeah. we're just going to.
Dematius wants to make a petition so Smith wears gloves from now on.
So it should go like that. Might have to start a glove fund. The amount I would go through. Skin grows back. Gloves cost money. So essentially, that's her.
Okay.
So now what you would typically do is with an argon gas welder, most because you don't want to be pumping flux into these kinds of joints, you would squish this super tight. You'd weld all that shut.
Nice and tight.
It'd give you an oxygen-free environment, and you just kind of smash her shut. And then even if you overheat it and blow it out, you're less likely to really damage your billet. Here, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it open. We're going to leave it tight, but we're essentially going to tighten it with heat, so that everything is very intimate together. Then we're going to disassemble it, and then reassemble it with flux, so that essentially we're brazing it in between. And then we're just going to keep it at a nice low heat and stretch it out. And the trouble about this way is that we can't afford to overheat it in any way, because we have an open joint. It'll just spray out molten copper, which I don't particularly like the idea of, especially seeing as how RPG rounds also lean on that science very heavily of molten copper penetrating tank armor. So definitely have to keep it at a low heat and small forging window. And there's a lot of back and forth. So that's, but that's, hey, it's either this or we do it the not so fun way.
Very old school way too, before they had welders to rely on to seal stuff up. Right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
This is more traditional.
Yeah, it's what am I gonna do here? I think I'm gonna trim the wrought iron. I was gonna leave it to kind of give me a little bit of, I don't know what it's called, but it's some boundary science. This increasing your boundary is allowing the wicking action to do a better job or something like that. But I think I might trim it back because I don't want to deal with it when it's
Later.
hot. Yeah. Because I'll have to wait for it to cool, and yeah, I don't know.
And then grind at that point.
Yeah. Oh, so I grind tool steel, very hard stuff. This is the funny part about a lot of the metallurgy that so copper, I was very surprised to learn, is a very abrasive metal. It kills, like milling tools and stuff like that, right? And it kind of blew my mind because, I mean, copper is a soft metal. And to me, I figured it would not be the winner in a battle between carbide and itself, but it kills shop tools. And that cutting disc there drives itself to tool steel as if the tool steel was butter. But when it comes to stuff like wrought iron,
I've heard that titanium is kind of similar to work with as far as grinding and cutting, etc. It's very, very hard on tools.
yeah, no, it murders tools. Actually, I have a piece of titanium I want to do something with. This is a fin to a engine. But yeah, no, it's very aggressive. So I don't know what it is about it, but it's definitely, it's got my neurons firing. Like why, you know? And I'm sure the answer is out there and it's pretty obvious, but I like to make my own hypothesis and then have it corrected by somebody who's smarter than me. And I think corrections are better remembered because it hurts a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that scene on Kingdom of Heaven with I think Liam Neeson's on there and Orlando Bloom. And one of the scenes was him getting new impromptu knights to recite the oath. And at the end of the oath, he slapped them with his gauntlet and he said, "This is so you'll never forget it." And I think that's a pretty good lesson. I think that lesson has some legitimacy to it.
So does this mean that every time you injure yourself, you've never forgotten it?
Hey, you asked me about anyone. Ask me about anyone. I'll tell you the story behind it. Okay. So what we're going to do is these are flat, but they're not perfectly, got to know each other flat.
Yeah.
So I'm going to heat them up. I'm going to give them a quick bam, just like that. Maybe I'll just flex it. Just wire it. I don't know. You guys are coming along on the journey.
Couldn't you clamp it first and then heat it up?
Yeah, but what clamp is going to be able to survive the heat? So that's why I mentioned wire.
All right.
Typically, when you're in a situation like this, you throw some wire on it. Of course, I don't. You know what? I think that's kind of like.
Couldn't you tack weld it?
Then I think we just might as well go the other way altogether.
That's not epic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants the precision approach.
Yeah. 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 I think, you know what? I think we'll go all. You know what we might do? I think, okay, we'll do one side at a time. Yeah. Can't make up my mind. I'm scared. I don't want to cry.
Yeah.
Nothing like putting a crap ton of work into something and then just having it utterly fail.
Well, I think Charlie should let us know how he sees the process should be.
See the process as being perfect and no crying.
No crying.
It's just all gonna work.
Okay, I know what
Yes,
I'm going to do. I'm going to go very, very Japanese with this. I'm not going to try and it's going to be see. So the thing I love about Japanese culture, and then there's Western culture, which is the way I grew up, and this goes back to lot of mentalities that just aren't available today, is the things that take or require of you more time typically end up better. I know even going into
Yeah.
even going into bladesmithing, everything that I tried to rush and I tried to reinvent the wheel a lot, I always ended up conceding to the old way of doing things. It almost seemed like the more I tried to better things, the more tested,
Tried and true
Met-
methods. Yeah.
tried and true methods slapped me in the face and said, "Nice try, sucker."
Been there, done
You know-
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're gonna go with the nice one piece at a time. Clean it, flux it, apply it, onto the next piece. Just looking for my pincers. Yeah,
A little safer.
yeah, and I'll go with a nice reducing flame as well. I think
So no turbo today.
no turbo. Lots of dragon's breath, as it's called. And what that will do is help us to really maintain an oxygen low environment, so we don't start scaling our piece.
Okay.
We do not want it scaled, whereas the project we do.
I was waiting for that.
So I have a few questions.
Okay.
And they really go along the lines of I'm kind of acting as an advocate maybe for the unspoken, but also some things that definitely I want to know is how it started, how it's going, and where we see it going. And speaking in respect mostly to scaling.
Well, the project started as a discussion improving Ravencoin, which led to a testnet in 2018. Charlie, Piggy, and a few others were credited with for discovering exploits in the Ravencoin base. And then during testnet, this made us change to a dash code base for the Raptoreum project, and we started off with an early dash code, and then we created what is now today the Raptoreum chain, which is highly customized since its initial inception. We released the mainnet on the 26th of February, and we've got to the stage where we have scaled our miners, so we were like the #1 CPU coin on Hive OS, and we've got 60, I think it's around 62% locked in smart nodes at the moment, and
Over 800 nodes, right?
yeah,
820 nodes.
yeah. And we've got a community that's been strong from the get-go. I think the community's really strong because we spent a long time building up to the mainnet, with starting testnet in 2018. So yeah, but the main thing is really we are improving scaling of blockchain. I mean, focusing on EVM chains in particular. You have to look at Solidity and the fact that language is still in beta, and it's been prone to loads of exploits, and there's been a lot of money lost and a lot of trust that has been diminished in the spaces on the back end of that, when someone's probably lost all their savings in some hack or something.
Exploit.
Yeah, and also Ethereum in this particular example is in Solidity, and Solidity was its own language in its own right when it came out, which really didn't cater for a lot of the developer pool. So they were really a kind of a niche language, and because we are catering for a multiple amount of languages in smart contracts, such as Java and Python and Scala and possibly more, then we are literally catering for the majority of developers in the world, because those are the main languages of the world.
Yeah. So for me to scale my business, really my ceiling is the fact that I would need to basically clone myself. And really what you've done is you've given that ability to clone, essentially, because developers, because now you're not limited to, like you said, a niche language, or just, so it's not like a specialized set of people who can do this. Now almost anybody can do it.
Well, we've been able to do this, set these goals and work towards them, because we are running our contracts at the node level as opposed to within the block.
Which also improves scalability.
Yeah, so we're not restricted in use cases due to block size, so we are allowing a lot more to be able to be done with the smart contracting layer. But also, if you look at the validity structure on normal Ethereum based chains, it just literally results in it's not decentralized because it's generally focused to large data centers. But I've lost where I am now. Basically, what we're doing, we are going to be removing.
What was scaling?
We are solving it because we're removing tokens and basic automation from contracts and adding it to the base protocol.
Well, the nodes are going to run the futures. The nodes are going to run the smart contracts on all the side chains, so they can be scaled immensely, and then being validated back on the RTM chain by the miners. So the block size of the actual blocks, are going to be much smaller because these smart contracts and all that's going to be on a side chain.
Yeah, a little bit like KMD style, Komodo. I'm not sure whether you know those guys.
So essentially what sets you out above the pack is your scalability, or the ease of scalability.
Well,
would I be correct in saying that? Like RTM as a project is more scalable, let's say, than Ethereum.
Because we have this smart node network, it gives us greater flexibility to add on, to increase, to scale more easily. I mean, we look at Ethereum, and I haven't looked at it for a while, but Bitcoin as is right now is not very fast for transaction per second, 7-8 transaction per second or something like that. Ethereum is 15 transaction per second or something like that. So, and us coming from the Dash base, we're a bit higher because we can rely on that. We're 40-45 transaction per second. But we have plans to further utilize the smart node network, and we can, if it all goes well and how we picture it, we can 10 times that up to 400 plus 450 transaction per second. So because we have that smart node network to rely on and to use, we can it makes us more scalable.
Which leads me to, I think, the final question of the when moon.
Which one?
Yeah. Cool. So as you guys saw, I put that layer of copper on an already fluxed piece of steel. The flux, again, adds just as an oxygen barrier to prevent further oxygen, as well as an acidic barrier. because it does become acidic at high temperature. So it will actually dissolve any iron oxides that are present. Just keeping everything nice and clean. In this case, I think I'm going to go a little heavy on the flux just to give it the best possible chance. But other than that, I'm going to watch it and I'm going to wait for it to start sweating. And once it starts sweating, we're up to temperature for the most part. And we're just the thing about copper is, and the reason that they like to seal it is because if you don't get it right the first time, there's really no second chance.
The copper's done.
Yeah, because cupric oxide is extremely stubborn. If you want to come in here, you can kind of see like these yellow areas.
Right.
So this is like the oxygen-free metal that you're seeing that the acid is actually attacking. So to speak. Of course, we don't see it as attacking, we see it as helping. So attacking is typically an aggressive word reserved for aggression. But in this case, it's protecting.
Okay.
So we like that. And again, here, I'm just going to come in and apply some pressure. And that's just to make the surfaces intimate. We got some squeeze out, but we definitely want to flood the joint.
Everybody watching, you can now say you've seen metal cuddle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's very intimate.
And there is also some salt on there right now. So
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What are you salty about?
I was waiting for somebody to say something. I'm sitting here scrambling to think, what the heck am I salty about? I'll have to get back to you.
So you must
Not
be
too sure.
You must be feeling good. Was that a bit of a smile then, Smith?
I'm pretty happy guy these days. What can I say?
You can pass the salt on if you want. If you can't answer, you pass the salt.
I passed it on. I'm going to pass it on.
Who are you going to pass it on to?
I'm going to pass it on to Sherm.
Okay, what are you salty about, Sherm?
What am I salty about? Good question. I'm not salty about anything either.
Has anybody rugged? Has anybody done anything dodgy recently?
You know what I'm salty about? There's not a Cryptosmith stream every day.
Oh.
Perfect.
What I'm salty about.
That was just pure cheese. That wasn't salt.
It was brined cheese, salty cheese.
Salty cheese, yeah.
Salty
cheese has a really high salt content.
Yeah. There'll be more opportunities. I think I have one. Yeah. So, I'll see if I can't get the exposure down far enough to kind of give you guys a look here. I don't think I can actually affect my video in any way, but the copper will start to have like a wetted look to it.
Okay.
And as soon as that happens, I have to be pretty quick to react because otherwise it melts.
Just melt all out.
So I'm going to actually have to get my kids here to back up because they are going to get sprayed with RPG guts, aka molten copper.
It's going to shoot out when you squeeze it together.
Yeah, and I'll have to, maybe I'll do it on the power hammer. I'm a bit leery to do it on the hammer. I'd rather set it by hand, but I can't find my flatter. Probably hanging up right in front of my face. have this cheese ball one, but it don't work so good.
Everybody back up.
Where are we going?
We're backing
I
up.
feel like we should go on a bit of a journey.
The dropper's looking clean. And again, it's just cuddle time. So we're not doing any welding action here. She can come in. Show you here just how nice and clean that copper is still under that glaze.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like honey.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely
So
looks like it tastes
two
nice.
these two are stuck together purely by surface area right now, and that's a good spot to be in to actually weld it. But they're not actually fused at this point.
I was ready to cry, but it's receding.
So we're taking a nice and slow, and while that's kind of going in between our heat, we are going to try and straighten some of these guys out. Now these have been cooling off since the stream started, so we might have an easier time here. I think what we'll do is maybe even we'll just get good. You know, I watched these shows on YouTube about like these third world countries, or I think they call them developing countries now. Most of the places, you know, some place that ends in ESH. And in the shop here, I always have like how to industrialize something, how to make it faster, how to do it efficiently. And sometimes I find that I have to abandon them because just that good old get her done attitude, for the most part, will get something done a lot faster, like straightening each wire individually, than trying to figure out some intricate system in order to straighten everything out. But anyways, I watched these shows where they just shut up and get to work. They got 1,000 things to do. And my Western mentality is like, okay, how do we get these done the fastest as possible? And obviously we need some intricacy in order to do it. They look at the same problem, they just get to work. And they're done 10 times faster than I would be trying to think up of this fancy system.
Could you put it in a clamp, in a vice, and then twist it using like a spanner or something on the end, a bit like you do with
like while it's hot.
Like make a hoop and put the spanner through it and then twist it and then get it straight.
Well, I probably could get like some sort of locking mechanism and attach it to a drill and then put it in there and then have that similar too, because you'd have to have a circular grasping system so that it doesn't just crush it flat, because if it crushes it flat, you're going to have frays. And then your situation is just a write-off right there.
Yeah.
So if you want to prevent the strays, you have to get something similar diameter, and then you'll have to have at least 3 diameters. And then same thing with your drill tool, and then you can put it in and with some speed and accuracy, untwist everything so it's nice and straight. But like I said, by the time I'm done making such a thing,
You've
Yeah,
been done already.
it's best to just
I'd already
get
be
it
done.
done.
Yeah.
It's best to just heat it up and put it into shape.
So here we're actually going to start applying a little bit of force. And again, all of this is just to make it love each other. And it didn't. It didn't
It
love
didn't look like
itself.
it. It didn't look like it.
I didn't want to. I
It looked
may,
like I got a divorce.
I may have gone a little too excessive there. Oh, but we do have fusion. That's good. So I think we might have to let it cool down. We'll work on the other piece for now. Have to let it cool down. I'll have to clean it and go for the next try. Here, we're just going to do the same thing that we did with that one. Get it all ready. That's a good sign. We're on a good track here. Get a close up of that. See some of the now it could very well be because it's the wrought iron that didn't stick. Could very well be that the wrought iron is just not wanting to get along. In which case you would need force them to get along. But force in an unbridled situation such as not having everything welded together is sometimes not agreeable for the materials. And we'll see. Might be able to. This is what worries me is this black copper here. All this is still relatively clean, but this black stuff right here, that's cupric oxide.
Why does that worry?
It's very stubborn oxide. It's like, so aluminum itself, well, aluminum oxide, they make grinding belts out of it that grind hardened steel. So it's the oxide itself that is 1,000 times more abrasive and strong than the base metal, and that's very similar to copper. Cupric oxide is very stubborn in relative to its base metal, and that means even stubborn to. You could prevent it from forming to begin with, but you can't really dissolve it back into solution. But if I flood it, see. If you know the issue, sometimes you can get ahead of them.
Yeah. So, Charlie, are you crying at the moment, or how are you?
No, I'm okay. It's just a little watery at the moment.
Just a little worry, yeah?
Holding his breath. Get some sniffles. I'm
Yeah.
holding back.
HNS is asking, how would a manufacturer use RTM and assets to reduce or prevent counterfeit products? Example, watches and jewelry. Cryptosmith uses a 3D scanner. Would that be part of the process to create an NFT of a watch or a necklace? What other info can you add to help ID the item? Well, I don't think like for watches and jewelry, it'd be assayed or whatever like that, and that would be part of the process also. It would have to be professionally tested, but I would assume that the assets layer would literally tie into the certificate providing for the full information for the item, so that that asset was directly connected to it. And yeah, I mean, you could introduce laser scanning in with that as well. And yeah, anything else you can add, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Ownership of the digital asset, I mean, kind of proves ownership of the item, authenticates it. You can think of the digital asset like a digital chip, like you would have a paper of authenticity or ownership. It's the same kind of thing, but the digital one can't be forged. It can't be eaten by your dog.
Yeah, you can't just
You know?
you can't make
Can't
a new
change it.
you can't make a new one and print one out, because it's a digital asset issued by the watchmaker or the jewelry maker or whatever. Then it would only be on their run of assets. So when you check the information on that piece of jewelry or a watch, you would check that NFT, because it would contain every single bit of information which cannot be altered or cloned like something on Photoshop would be able to be, because you can't hack the asset on the blockchain. It all comes down to that. So that's why, and that's how you can verify if it's real or not. That's the reason.
So now in my mindset, how a manufacturer might do something like that, where it's watch or jewelry, is almost do a physical coating, if you will, into the material, the design, or even just a physical element that's unchangeable or built in so much into the product that if you were to change it, you'd destroy the product for what it is. Something that can be picked up, preferably as a physical or topographical, something that a laser scanner can pick up. So I think if somebody were to bring me, say, a Rolex, I would almost want to put in a unique feature into that watch physically before it becomes a digital asset, so that they're always paired. Now, correct my thinking if I'm wrong, but that would kind of make sense to me.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can
totally.
almost put in a defect that is, I mean,
a deliberate defect, and every different watch would have a deliberate defect, because then it would be the only one that would be tied to that digital laser scanned item. I mean,
Or if you
just
have like a Damascus pattern, I mean, that's like a fingerprint, right? There's not going to be any two Damascus items exactly the same, you know, so you could have that pattern
Yeah,
logged in.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly. And I mean, you can attach digital files to an asset, right? So you can have pictures of the exact item that's attached to the asset, and those
Whatever
pictures
unique
are
characteristics of it, you know, are on
yeah,
there.
attached to it via a hash, which that hash cannot be modified or changed either, kind of like the blockchain. Or if it is changed, then it's very easy to recognize. Like for example, attaching pictures of said watch to an asset issued for that watch on IPFS. Right, those pictures can't be changed once they're attached. If they are changed, then the hash changes, and everybody knows this picture.
What's going on?
I mean, you can have your marketplace system, which monitors the hashes on that, and monitors people. Kind of where it all shines is where you have a marketplace where everybody kind of agrees to use it. The assets are passed back and forth just as physical items are. They go with them.
Charlie, Fire and Lave is asking when game coming or it dumped. It's just simple as that.
Or say it again. Sorry. I
He
didn't
said
hear
he said when game coming or it dumped.
you. Well, no dumping. It depends which game he's talking about as well.
Yeah, which game are you talking about? Fire and Lave?
Take these thin ones. Just kind of. Yeah, that do. Just the thin, yeah, thin one.
The
Look, there's some here.
Diablo looking one. That's what he said.
What? All right, I can need to check
Diablo
this.
looking at one.
Diablo looking one. That's the MMORPG. No, it did not dump. Think of it in the opposite way. It's a little bit constipated at the moment. It's slow.
It's being worked on.
No, it did not dump.
Yeah, so which one's going to be coming first, Charlie?
Which one's what?
Which
Sorry?
game? Which game will come first? I think just for those who don't already know, they were new to the stream.
Well, there's two different projects. There's Salty Dragon, which we're helping out with, which is integrating Raptoreum into an existing MMORPG, which is Lineage 2. That one will come first because it's way less work, way less coding, etc., than the MMORPG from scratch. That one will, I mean, Salty Dragon will most likely be the first one.
That's going to incorporate the NFTs and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's the items that are being made, and they have the 3D models and the scans done. Have the option to be brought in by the owner into the game, and those items will have some special attributes. Nothing imbalanced or anything like that, but just something to say, it's a special item and it has a physical item attached to it. It will be available in game.
Nice.
Okay, so what are we doing now, Smith?
We're just repeating what we did last time.
Okay.
We're getting intimate again,
This
right?
is coming along nicely. So,
It was probably us talking to you that ruined it last time.
Much pressure on them.
Yeah.
and you guys may have mentioned, so I was waiting for you guys to finish because you may have mentioned I put a bunch of RTM salt on there, and I was waiting to tell you guys that I was salty about you guys talking. Well, I was trying to do a very precise.
Yeah, well, if I called the salt, then that's I shielded it away. I called it first, yeah. But anyway, yeah, this valid salt. You need to concentrate on these things, and we were just talking about some next thing.
Did you guys see the copper oxidizing like that?
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, eh? I thought it was cool. So here we have our next piece, which is wrought iron and copper. So the layer of copper is there, and we got some flux waiting
Okay.
for this piece. This piece is sticking nicely. It's wetted down nicely as well. We're going to further our
If it's not welded,
cleanliness.
not welded though, right?
It's not, no, it's not, but it's intimate enough here where we can rely on the union as something we can hold upside down.
It's not going to fall
So
apart, right?
Yes, that's enough to take us to our next stage. We still got to be pretty ginger with it, but we can at least treat it with a little bit more toughness, rigidity than. Yeah. So they're kind of glued together by surface area contact and the fact that it's very hard to put air in between them, as well as the glass that's formed from the borax. Oh, sorry, from the genuine RTM salt. This is very much a sit and watch thing. I can see just through the corner. I can see a spot of copper, and as soon as that spot of copper wets out,
Pulling it.
yeah. So I got about a 5 second, 6 second window. And what happens when you don't do it is in half a second it'll just blow out.
Oh, jeez.
So the difference between this and this is about half a second, I'd say.
Half a second.
Yeah.
But don't let us distract you.
Yeah. So this is why the chair. I know I have a little bit more
Push your window.
forgiveness with this. You guys can see here, and you can see the black shadows within the borax itself, and that's just the iron. And that's just all I'm trying to get rid of very passively without being too aggressive with the larger
Brush, yeah.
brush. So I'm just trying to get rid of all that iron oxide, and then there's these stubborn little bits here, and I just get rid of that with more flux. So Charlie.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Charlie? I hereby pass this salt on to you. Salt away.
Boy, what am I salty about?
What are you salty about?
I'm salty about that it snowed a foot yesterday, and I had to spend 3 or 4 hours today cleaning the property.
Yeah, I'd be salty about that too.
I didn't even make it to the roof yet, so I'm extra salty about the roof.
I'll tell you what I'm not salty about. It's 5:30 and the sun is still out.
Days are getting longer.
We're usually dark by 4 o'clock in the winter.
Or
So
Wow, that's wild. We've been dark here for 3 hours now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
what time does it get dark there? 1 in the afternoon?
Almost in the peak of winter. But
Wow.
yeah, this time of year it's about 4:30-ish,
Yeah, it's still early.
which is about 3 hours ago.
one tiny little piece, right there. So as much as I want to cut corners, I can't. Another bath.
A little more salt.
Fine, all right.
And raise up.
Round the horn.
What am I salty about? Oh.
Your life is very good if you need to think that long about something.
People who push their views on other people, doesn't matter the subject.
Do we have an
You
example?
know, yeah,
What's that?
an example.
No, like people who push religion and other
Political views or
subjects
whatever.
onto people. I don't like that. I don't like that. People
Yeah.
should just make their own decision. People should be just, everyone's the same. Just
Now, where do you draw the line? Because I believe that people should be well informed, but a lot of the times, well informing someone can look a lot like pushing your opinion on them.
well,
Well,
you should do it like
someone's asking, right? If someone asks you, it's different than you just telling people, I guess, right?
you know those comparison sites where you decide what car insurance you want. Maybe you
Yeah.
should just get all the different religions on one of those. You know what I mean?
So specifically, now you've said religion twice. So is it specifically a religion thing then?
No, it could be any subject. It could be racism. It could be religion. It could be politics. It could be sexuality. It could be anything like that. I just don't like people who feel the need to push that onto other people. Just because when it wasn't even talked about, you know what I mean? I don't like that.
Yeah, yeah. You're talking about the fact that you don't like Subarus or Fords over Chevys, and they're like, well, now that you on that subject, and then they just inject their beliefs
Yeah.
wherever there's a
An
possibility.
opportunity, or even when there's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
They always want to
I'd
bring
have
it
to-
up.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. That's no fun, and it doesn't paint a good picture for whatever it is you know what I mean? You've now put the face of like overbearing. I almost want to say like an oppressive spirit of you must believe what I believe to that information packet, whatever it is. Whereas maybe if it were even given to you in a different way, that information could benefit your life in some way. And like you said, you didn't make anything too general, and I would say the same. Especially raising kids, it's really hard to know what you allow, as a parent for your kids to learn on their own and what you need to kind of foster in them. So I think it's definitely a different dynamic in the family, but for the most part, it extends, I think, beyond into social life as well. That mentality of where to let dead dogs lie, and where to help out somebody even if they don't want it, but they need it. It's a weird thing, right?
I think if you take all these different things out of the equation, all this politics, all this racism, and all this other highly opinionated things, and put respect there instead, just common respect for everybody. You know what I mean? Each other, everybody, respecting, and then that would just, well, I wouldn't say
Fix a lot of the issues.
fixing all of these. Everyone just needs to respect each other, and it doesn't matter what they believe, what they are, or anything like that. Respect the space and the opinions of other people, because they wouldn't bring something up that they believe in just because they want to push it on somebody. So I don't see why other people should do the same thing. Everyone should just respect each other.
That was some deep salt.
Yeah, I mean, even you came in with your opinion on that, Salt. So it's just something that really
The salt's been building.
grinds my gears.
Scaling up the salt over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna need any more after that. That's good. Just gonna straighten out some wires here while I'm waiting. Like, I get why my wife knits now, you know?
I'll be waiting for my my steel knitting stocking for Christmas.
Yeah,
Still knit stocking.
yeah. I've thought about doing like a weave Damascus where you actually weave stuff like patterned steel hot and then forge it flat so that weave comes out in the chatoyance in the etched piece.
Mhm. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
It would be hard to get it tight enough. I mean, you kind of the same thing for cable Damascus is similar, right? But you have to twist it to tighten it up.
Yeah.
But it would be a very cool pattern if you could knit
Pull
it
it
all
off.
together and then attach a car to one end and a horse to the other and stretch it out.
Stretch it.
So I figured out what we're gonna do with this RTM logo once we get it stretched out and scaled down from the 4x4 piece it is to the. I think what we're gonna do is about an inch by inch. I think, and it might be a tiny bit distorted, but we're gonna do our best to make sure it's not. You can't really get away from that distortion. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna tile it up because it'll be long and the picture will be running right through it. We're gonna tile it up into inch by inch pieces and we're gonna make little pendant necklaces out of them. And
Cool.
we'll auction off the first 3 on the stream and then I'll send the rest to Charlie for the store.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
So are you auctioning this stream or
Nope.
or the next
Nope.
one? Next one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It. Uh-oh.
Focus.
I almost started to feel some tears coming right there. Wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was
what's
thinking
going on.
so. Looked like a piece fell off. Did the piece fall off?
Yeah. We're just gonna, and of course we're right at that temperature where things like to get sticky. So if it slides off now and sticks,
Still be okay.
well, we'll have to
Maybe.
be happy with wherever it sticks. We don't want it to stick anywhere other than where we tell it to go. Very, very finicky.
It's really got a fluid layer in between. Hey, it's
Yeah.
stuck, but it'll move.
It's like a s'more.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I was wrong. There's more.
More salt.
I'm salty about them. All them Googlers who are allowed in the trivia. Should ban them. Ban them all.
Ban all those Google bots.
Yeah, Todd's in the chat. He's one of them.
Yeah. It's like people come back within 30 or 10, 15 seconds with like the most random of knowledge. And they get 100% of the questions right. It's like, I don't know. I think you should get banned.
That's rigged.
Truly salty. You know that's true salt. That's like the salt of salt.
There's no shortage of salt during trivia.
Yeah. Mm, yeah, I think the proper way to do this is to heat up those individual strands and just untwist them. 'Cause this is ridiculous. I'm gonna put 4 days of work in here and
Yes, hammering those straight.
just hammering the strands, and then it's not gonna work out. They won't weld. I know that weld. Just know there's gotta be a better way of doing this. Almost thinking like, 'cause I don't think we have to make them out of like a carbon steel, right? Because if we're gonna make pendants out of them, carbon will etch better. Maybe I should just like anneal big full piece of cable, like proper 24-hour anneal, and then they'll act like regular wire, like regular mild steel wire. Whereas even now they have a little bit of give, even though they've been cooling down nice and slow. These ones have been cooling down the longest. Oh yeah, they're much softer than the one I just worked with. But they still, yeah, I don't know. I may not have thought this one out very good. This is what I was talking about, I think last week or the week before. I like to kind of just bowl my way into like these low probability or situations of low probability of success, almost to kind of learn along the way, get slapped by a gauntlet.
Yeah, test your limits.
Yeah. Oh, I think I just got the point to the watch. Time we got.
We are an hour and 37 minutes into the stream.
Back up. Back up. Okay, the next one, I'm gonna take it for a proper heat. We are not welded, but we are nice and glued.
This time.
And now we're gonna actually make the copper liquid. Or semi-liquid, technically speaking.
Okay.
And rather than putting the turbo on, I'm just going to turn the gas up because we're running about half of what we can. Trying to keep the heat down. Maybe I even turn just a little bit. So we'll see. I'll do some thinking on this wire here. There's got to be an easier way. There's just got to be. Pass me that little hammer. Anything going on in the chat?
Let me have a look. People are definitely happy with the rain. Jamard is saying we need different streaming times. This is exhausting for the European Union. Jamard is the guy who's creating raptor wings at the moment.
Ah.
HNS is saying basically that nobody's saying anything because they're mesmerized. Mesmerized of you hammering the wire. See up says he's just watching a master at work. So everybody's watching.
We might need to change the name of the next stream down to down to the wire.
Down to the wire. Usually you do come down to the wire.
Yeah, down to the wire. Oh, I was getting mesmerized too. I gotta watch what I'm doing here.
You stay focused.
Yeah, gas is up.
He'll get half a second, right?
Yeah.
Window.
It's kind of therapeutic, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, you know it's going to get straight. You kind of want to have a go yourself. I mean, if we were all there, everyone who's on the stream just wants to hammer out a wire straight.
I'm sure the sound's melodic too. We can't actually hear the hammer beats. I'm sure that tapping is soothing too.
It really is. It is a form of therapy for sure. I know they have a program, blacksmith program for people who suffer from PTSD, and apparently it's quite effective.
Yeah, I can see how it would be all the way around. Very therapeutic and soothing.
Boxing's supposed to be the best sport for depression.
That makes sense.
It is pretty satisfying to punch stuff. I agree. But I think being able to hit something and create something from those hits is, for me, a little bit more satisfying than just
Breaking somebody's face.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't go to jail for making a knife.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we got Steve the Power Hammer on the go.
I thought I came up with a different name. Was that the name?
Well, Kyle said Steve the Power Hammer. It's kind of stuck with me, but I mean, you guys can. You're more than welcome to call it whatever you like.
So I talked to the previous owner the other day, and the hammer came up. And see, I've always called it Big Green, but we put that name up for auction due to me thinking I was kind of being uncreative. Anyways, that aside, I ended up talking to the previous owner this past bit here, and he was telling me a story and came up the fact that he used to call the hammer Big Green. And I didn't know that. So I thought that was kind of neat. So it kind of almost solidified it for me that her name's Big Green.
Did you say her name's Big Green?
Yeah,
Her. Okay.
good to see.
I'm just checking.
You gotta check.
I
Yep.
wonder what she would say about being named Big Green. Curious.
Yeah.
So Big Green it is.
Are we going for a finger bending technique now? Or does that just started off?
The preliminary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, doesn't want to dance all over the anvil when you take a little bit out of it.
You know those kids' toy hammers that when you whack them, they make a noise?
Yeah.
I think Smith should put one of those in his hammer, so then at least we would hear it when he whacked it.
You don't think Discord would take it out?
No, because it's like you can get ones that talk when you whack them.
Oh, that's like the talking ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, I'll tell you what I do for you. Give me a sound effect that you think a hammer would make.
Besides ding.
I guess that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. We could get the people on the stream to upload a sound effect for like tonight's Smith's hammer. And you would literally have like a little a little thing wrapped around the hammer every time he whacks it, it would detect it and then it would make the noise.
That would work.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie,
Yes.
I think you might have to get the tissues out.
Oh, don't tell me that.
You might. We have what looks like a pocket of air. Top layers being stubborn. Hum, hum, hum. Okay, so this is what I'll do for you, okay? Wah, 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 wah.
I'll get the mini ample over there too. Get your son going.
All right. Ting, 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 ting.
I can honestly say I haven't got over my anvil jealousy yet.
He's got two of them over there.
I-
Big one and a little one.
Yeah, I'm jealous of the big one. I gotta say.
How did he even get that in there?
Which one?
That one right there.
The guy, it took a picker truck.
Yeah, I bet.
Uh,
How much does that thing weigh again? Please do tell me.
650.
650.
650 what?
Stone. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how much a stone is.
600,
Pound.
650 stone.
No, it's pound.
A pound.
I think it's like, I don't know how much the stone is. I wish I did. How many kilos is one stone?
So that's 294 kilo. A 300 kilo, just under a third of a ton.
So 600 pounds is 42. Well, let's say 43 stones. I would love to see the stone that they base the measurements. Oh,
So I get to this place where rather than stopping and reevaluating, I kind of just put the pedal down and squish it into oblivion because it has angered me.
Forced it.
Yeah, if it works out, then great. But most of the time it doesn't. So what it looks like happening here is we're getting fusion on the Damascus piece, but not the wrought iron. And I don't know why. It could be too much sulfur in the iron, but it's happened twice now. We're just not getting fusion on the iron. So there's one other way that we can do things. I can go ahead and try and fuse, or what's referred to as tinning. I can try and tin the or coppering, I guess, maybe in this occasion. I can try coppering the wrought iron, taking it to a higher heat and flooding the surface with copper and seeing if that works. And if it doesn't, then I have at least a definitive answer that it is in fact a mismatch between the wrought and the copper. So we're going to test that out.
Test it out. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So. We're just going to take this, get it up nice and hot. We are going to employ the turbo. 2 reasons. One, I want to watch it burn. That it made me angry.
It's weird.
2, running out of time. And 3, it shouldn't hurt it.
That guy's going to send some more rain to the chat. That is in the hashtag stream party chat.
Yeah, it's fused to the Damascus on both sides, in fact. And it's not fused to the wrought iron. I might need to do copper iron like a clean iron, like iron powder or maybe even nickel, and then have that fused. I don't know. It's, I'm not gonna say it because I'm pretty sure you know what I'm salty about right now.
It didn't stick.
It's your turn then, Shem.
Well, I'm salty. It's raining out right now. It's cold and windy.
Are you outside?
I am. Front porch.
Why don't you go in?
It's raining on you right now, for real.
Well, it's raining not on me. There's a roof over my head, but well, I can't smoke inside. That's why.
That looks hot.
It's hot. It's got the turbo going.
Yeah.
It is the 5-second hot dog oven, right?
You think you could put your hand in there for 2 seconds and it'd be all right?
Nope.
Maybe if you put some water all over it.
No, you get 3rd-degree burns in about half a second.
Oh, really?
It's infrared heat.
So
It's infrared heat.
So you'd be all right in a
Infrared.
quarter of a second then, yeah?
No,
How much would you do it for, Smith? How much would you do it for? A quarter of a second?
none, nothing,
You wouldn't.
nothing. No,
Instant
radiant
burn.
heat. Radiant heat would instantly fry you. You'd have 3rd-degree burns. It is. I think we have success.
Say it again.
I think we have success. I'm going to cool it down, and then we should see a copper tin piece of metal. I'm not worried about cooling down wrought iron like this. Yeah, you see,
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Why you don't worry about water quenching wrought iron?
no carbon.
Okay.
And even if even the pockets, it doesn't really. Oh, so, okay. Okay. I know what I must do. And while you guys weren't looking, I absolutely cooked my hand by putting it down on one of these.
Well, it is pizza night.
Yeah.
Oh, this night, Jessaroni.
Yeah. With extra cheese, thanks to Sherm.
The dangerous thing in the shop, in the forge, is your mind does not realize that because the metal is gray that it's safe. It's not safe, right?
It's still hot.
Yeah, and it's very easy to grab a hold of something that looks cool and it's actually more dangerous than something that's red hot.
Yeah, or just back up and kind of put your hand on the anvil and not know it. Oh, it's angry. And I literally just healed up from one. And now I got one right there. And those ones where they're cool, like that was sitting there for the last 5-10 minutes without touching it. The ones that are cool, they're the ones that they give you the big blisters. They burn you pretty good. It's super hot while we've been over that.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole licking steel.
Yeah. It's the oh yeah, to go back to radiant heat. So radiant heat is different than infrared heat is different than radiant heat. Radiant heat is where you can touch it and have a vapor barrier. Infrared heat, there's no barrier. It just sizzles your skin and everything underneath it. Hot.
That's how you see how bad is the burn. You touch it on your face. If it's burning hot, it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, if it's got some heat in it, it's gonna blister pretty good.
Had my face completely blistered when I was a very young teenager. And I had just moved out of the house. I think I was about 14 years old. I moved to Alberta and I went to work on the pipeline. And one of my first jobs was helping a welder do some fabrication for the pipeline. He was telling me, you know, as he turned the pipe to chip a start. And I thought he was telling me that as soon as he started welding, anything that come out, I was supposed to kind of knock it away. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. And I had my face so close to where he was welding that I ended up blistering my whole face got sunburnt and slight blistering and my whole face peeled. And he was an old timer and he thought it was funny as hell. He told me after, and this is some weeks after, you know, chip my start means when he starts welding, there's a bit of slag that starts on the beginning of his weld and he's turning the pipe. But you need to let that slag cool off before you can chip it. And me, I was chipping it. As soon as he started welding, I was just smearing it all over the place because it
Just
was
smash
still
it in
red
your
hot.
face.
So, but I wanted to do a good job. So I had my face like inches away from where he was welding. And he thought it was the funniest thing ever, you know. And told me weeks after about it. But yeah, just the welding was enough to completely sunburn my whole face, and I was peeling for days after that.
Oh, really?
Yep.
So maybe they're missing a trick there. All these welding shops, opposite the welding shop, you should have suntan shops.
Right.
With like lenses through the wall. So when they're welding it, they're all sitting there on the sunbeds and you're solving two issues in one.
You know, getting all their UVs, getting a nice tan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, my tan was so good. It didn't last long.
Yeah, put some sunscreen on before you start welding.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like our path to success is all in heat.
All in
Like
heat.
a
So
lot of it.
you need more heat.
Like a crap ton of it. Oh, crap ton. And maybe even thicker copper. Dang it. Thicker copper.
A little more copper.
Yeah. Son of a gun. Son of a gun, gonna have big gun on the bayou. This is one of them let her fuck moments. Just get her done. That is as hot as it looks on camera.
It is or it isn't?
It is.
It is.
White hot.
Yeah. The heat coming out of that is insane.
Is it suntan hot?
Yeah. Well, it's infrared though. Infrared different from UV. Funny, here's another, because copper is such a great thermal conductor, you can't just like spot heat it unless you have a massive amount of heat,
Right.
5,000-6,000 degrees. But this thing is taking so long to heat up because it wants to heat up the entire bar.
Yeah.
I mean, that forge is on crank. I mean, you look in there, that whole thing's on white hot.
Cut off the nips.
It's pretty cool to see. You guys are well in tune.
Tag team.
Yeah, you can see
knows.
them anticipate each other a little bit. It's pretty cool.
There it goes.
Hey, you took a dropper. Cut it again, Michael. Oh man, we're gonna cook it. We're gonna cook it.
You mate, what are you doing? Making a new sheet of copper from?
We're gonna tin it, but with a nice thick piece of copper.
Yeah.
See if I can't get the exposure down. It's kind of tough with the Discord to do any kind of camera settings. See if I can't get the exposure down so we can see. It's so liquid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at my camera.
Why did that copper not have like a bronze color to it?
Yeah, I'll pull it out just as it goes liquid. Oh, starting to puddle.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna puddle this out and then I gotta call it.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. Oh man, I wish you guys could see this.
I wish I could see it too.
He's spreading the copper around.
Yeah, I'm getting it to break the whatever layer is preventing it from sticking. I don't want to. I think it might be the metal after all. Yeah, look how fast that thing turned white.
Yeah.
Okay, kill the forge. Get it out while it's still liquid. There. And liquid copper. Doesn't want to behave though. And bam, it's frozen. Oh, now it's frozen. So I think we might have an issue with this wrought iron. It looks like it. Because I wasn't able to completely wet out the surface. The wrought iron is probably high in sulfur. Bad impurities. Which is why they transitioned basically from wrought iron to steel, because of the impurities.
Well,
Well, we were kind of unfruitful today. We straightened out some wire though.
Got some wire straight, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, things don't
Lot of salt.
always go correctly. We've got to keep trying with these little things, you know. It's all about it's all about the journey there.
That's right. And I kind of like that. I like that. I like bordering my stuff on success for sure, but I don't think I think far too often I tend to measure myself by my successes and forget about the, like you said, the journey to get there, you know?
Yeah.
All about the journey.
Yeah. I like the journey. I really do. I like messing up. I just don't like telling people about it.
Yeah. Then live stream it for everybody to see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't want to be a dancing monkey here. But yeah, no, it's good. I mean, if people are good with it, I'm happy about it because This is, you know, honestly, this is where you do the learning, right? Everybody wants a polished product, and there's nothing wrong with that, but can't forget about the becoming, not just the being.
Yep.
So,
This is real.
yeah. So I think what'll happen is I'll kind of make up for what we've lost out on today throughout the week. Whereas this, I kind of left everything the way it was so that we could just kind of continue along that. However, I think we've got to a place where we get it, and
Right.
And the remainder of the bugs can kind of be worked out behind the curtain, and then that way we're not missing too much. And so those who have already been with us this far, they're already caught up to speed, and those who you know, or maybe just catching up next week can kind of just be brought in on, give them a reason to look back on the old video, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that works.
Cool. So, are we done, Smith? Is it pizza time?
It's pizza time.
Well,
Yeah.
you could say it more positively, because, you know, you should be excited for pizza.
Well, I'm not excited about
He's
the
hurting. He's hurting now.
Jesseroni there. Look at this. This is neat. I'm knocking off the flux, and there's copper on top, but there's also copper on the bottom.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, because I never spread it around. It just kind of wicked around by itself.
Right.
Huh.
I'll have a look. I'll grind it up and see what our issue is here, because this actually looks wetted
Okay.
completely.
Still didn't want to stick.
Yeah, it just, no, it really didn't. Like, that's a solid piece of copper right there. See? That's solid copper. So something, it's just sitting there floating on the surface.
Yeah,
I
it
could
peels
peel it.
right off.
Peel it right off. So anyways, I'll have a look. I appreciate you guys sticking around.
I appreciate your time.
Yep. Thanks a lot, Smith.
Yeah.
Thanks for the stream
mate.
tonight. It was
Yeah.
entertaining either way. It doesn't matter what happened.
I hope it was.
A lot of salt was shared. A lot of salt was passed. And thanks, Charlie, as well, and Sherman for coming on the stream.
Of course.
And thanks for watching as well. Guys, don't forget, if you want to check out the Raptoreum update, you have to go to the start of the stream. And that's when the first half hour will be with the RTM update. And that's how usually it is.
Also, real quick, sorry, Bonner, I want to add, if anybody ever wants to reach out and share some ideas or maybe some tips or whatever, you know, whether it's videographer or content or that kind of stuff, we're completely open to that. I am, and you know, either reach out to me on Twitter or Discord, Cryptosmith01 on Twitter. And you can also reach out at, I think it's cryptosmith@raptoreum.com is the email.
Yep.
Yeah, by all means, drop a line.
Awesome. All right then, guys, we will come back here next Saturday, as usual, for another RTM update stream and another Cryptosmith stream. I mean, Smith, you don't have to fix everything in between. If you want, you can actually just do that on the next stream if you want. I mean, it's the process, isn't it? You know, you don't have to. You don't have to use the rest of your life
obligated
to make up for that.
Oh, for sure. No, I appreciate that. There is still a sense of polished I want to attribute to, right? The journey is fun, and I definitely shed some more light on it. And there's not too it's not too obligatory, but I don't. Yeah.
All right. Catch you later, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Have a good one.
See you guys. Thanks.